All right, Eugene, shall we start? And
Yep.
those who come in late, they can join later. All right. Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. Here today, I'm Sherry. Started just a okay. Big mic. How about now?
Speak some more, please.
Hello.
A bit more.
Okay. How about now?
Okay.
Okay. Sorry for that. Okay. Before we get started, just a quick housekeeping. We'll be running a live Q&A at the end of the webinar. So if you have any questions, just pop them into the chat box. And if you missed anything, don't worry, the on-demand webinar recording will be available after this. Without further ado, we will turn the time over to Eugene, our presenter today, who has over 20 years of experience in the digital industry. And hello, Eugene.
Hi, everyone. Okay. By the way, Sherry, I need to check on your mic. There's still a bit like over just now. But anyway, thank you everyone for coming. I'm Eugene. I'm basically heading the marketing team for AECC Global. And before this, I was actually in the digital industry for quite a while. Okay, since the 24 KB internet period of time, already working in the digital industry. So without further ado, basically today the objective is to actually get the younger generation here. If you want to venture into digital industry, this is where you should why you should come here for. And I'll be explaining a bit on the overview of digital industry and what kind of roles and talents, skills that is required, or even the study fields. We'll be dissecting a bit on some of the component of digital in different industry, and there will be a Q&A sections, and we have actually prepared a quiz so that you guys can walk away with some GrabFood voucher. So,
yep. Okay. Before we get started, we might check. I'm so sorry about that. How about now? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry for the interruption. And okay, seems like digital is almost everything nowadays, and even the internet is the things that we do every day. No. No. Okay. I can still see people joining in, so please bear with me for a while. I'm just fix this real quick. Hi.
Yeah.
Can hear?
Long. Yeah, can.
Can
Okay.
Better than earlier?
Yeah, better than earlier.
Yeah, because I think the headphones that I was using has some problems.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's continue. All right. Okay, so I think we are ready to dive into the digital world. Okay,
I'll start this one. Now, basically what happens in the digital world is basically separated into two areas at this stage. So the first is actually digital is the business itself, and also the other part, which is digital, is actually within the business. Now, explaining a bit more in that is if no digital, I will die. This kind of industry is very easy to identify if you just open up your smartphone. Basically, a lot of apps inside there exist because of the digital technology. And if you actually to categorize it, it's actually it will be part of EMarketplace, some of the digital service provider like agencies, even have Fintech, software solution house, and even some part of it is game and different social platform or channels like that. Now, for digital within a business, is basically they treat digital as a booster. So what does a booster means? That it's actually trying to expand from the current business model to a larger or to more internationalized. So it quite applicable to a lot of industry, include covering from manufacturing down to even logistics itself.
Oh, okay. So how about the primary sector? Let's say fishing. How does digital actually boost the whole thing? Okay, we don't talk about like the business part. We talk about how they fish the fish, like a very primary traditional way of working.
Okay, now there are certain technology used on basically there are sensors where it actually apply on different type of environment. Now, if you have fish too much on a pond, the acid level becomes stronger. So the sensor actually helps the fish industry, some of the fish industry, when they actually transform to digitalize, they actually implant different type of sensor to detect whether the condition is good enough for the fish to continue to live. Now, moving a bit related to fishery, like agriculture itself. Now, we all know that people start to use drone for agriculture because why? The land is too big. It's too big to cover, and it's very hard to detect from one end to the other end what is going on. So other than drone itself, there are also sensor applying on different type of different area to detect whether the soil condition is good enough. These are some of the part that is doing on the primary industry.
So meaning digital actually open up opportunities for companies like this to take steps toward a greater flexibility, sustainability, and even productivity, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, if I move on a bit, this is just some of the EMarketplace app that you can just find it on Google Play or even Tune Store. And these are all industry based on the live and die because of digital. Now, in short, basically digital is either you create a tool for people to use, or you use the tool that people to create to enhance your current situation. Now,
okay.
Yeah, and if you want to dive a bit more deeper, it's actually split into these three categories. Now, we all know that digital is quite depending on technology, but why technology? Because technologies, they are the key, they brand it as the solution for certain problems or certain, or how to make things more effective, okay? And with technology, basically you need people to use it. That's why the interface comes in, the communication comes in, the user experience comes in. Now, these are relying on the profession that knows a bit more on the creative industry, the creative side of the world. Now, with this tool, it's just basically you are completing an application or a tool, but you need to learn how to expand the tool to let more people use it so that you can sustain financially. So when the business component comes in, and later on, what we explain to the slides after this, it's all related to it's all can apply in this three pillar itself.
Meaning these three pillars, nothing can go missing in order for the whole digital to work, right?
Yeah, I would say so, and I think this is probably the key slide of the entire presentation today.
Okay.
Now, the next part is what role actually you can be and what kind of skill set that is needed. Now, digital is quite huge. Every industry is tapping on it right now. So we understand that now. Agriculture dimension on the top left corner, and if you look at the top right corner, it's basically logistics. They are using robotics to actually control logistics. Now, I'm going to dissect the four industry on the bottom part, which is the e-marketplace, the retailing, sports, esports, e-games, and also creative industry. So coming back to this, let's talk about e-marketplace first as a structure. Now, since we are giving away a GrabFood voucher, I will use GrabFood as a e-marketplace platform to actually dissect so that everybody can understand it more easier, and it's more easier to relate to. Now, we all know that we order GrabFood from a mobile app, but in the actual fact is that GrabFood, the app itself, cannot be just an app. It has to be a platform. Why I say it's a platform? Because people can actually order from the web itself. Okay, so it actually, the same system actually cross different platforms. And if the future, I can order from maybe my TV, TV nowadays are actually using smart TV already, and this is not hard to understand. And okay, then you have maybe the future a bit more advanced. You have your smart watch that you can order food. So these are all the application or the platform that you will need to work together in order to make this experience much better.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, and same thing it goes there, because if we have GrabFood, definitely we have competitors of GrabFood itself, and you start to wonder whether the user experience actually works or not. The design actually able to compete with another competitor or not. So the creative teams start to come in, try to optimize it, try to make it more user friendly, and it's not just on the consumer base, because you have to make you have to take care of every party, okay, including the restaurant owner, even the driver itself. So everything has to be like work seamlessly. And
yeah, true. And also, I think, and also the platform needs to come up with a solution that give a win-win solution for each party, so that they are willing to use your platform.
Yes, and that comes the business part, because that is the stickiness of it. So if you have something that is good enough, how do you make your customer continue using it? So this is the part that is about strategy, about business expansion. Now, like I said just now, it actually, this platform itself, GrabFood is the platform, and they are actually pulling in consumer like you and me, the merchants, which is the restaurant owner, and also the vendor. The vendor basically in this situation is basically the driver that delivers the product, the food. Now, everybody has to work, the entire journey has to be very smooth so that it doesn't actually break up at any time. Now, if we change this platform to, let's say, Shopee or Lazada, it works the same. It's just that the merchant might be changing from a restaurant owner to the seller. And the seller key objective is to make sure that their item is being pushed to the market as fast as much as possible. But on the vendor side, it's a bit different, because it's still on the logistic area where food delivery becomes a logistics provider like J&T or DHL. But there's also some component which is on the payment side, which is if like you and me, we might be using certain credit card, or you might be using online banking, or some type of e-wallet. So how does vendor on e-payment side comes in and play a role? So this platform needs to actually comply to almost as much as possible, so that the accessibility of the application is enough.
But I think EMarketplace nowadays, they don't actually limit to you selling things anymore. They even have Grab e-wallet.
Yeah, that's the.
Because I recently just did a purchase, and surprisingly, you can actually link your GrabFood, your Grab e-wallet when you're using your laptop to buy something.
Yep.
Yeah, you just have to do all the verification and everything. I feel like this is so easy, because it's not only limit you to using your card anymore.
Yep, agreed. So if you dive back to a bit deeper, it's still part under this three category. Now, the part that you mentioned about e-wallet stuff like that is under Fintech, and is also part of the technology solution of it. Of course, there are business logic behind where they need to understand the logic of transferring money from A to B. And also, of course, the next thing is the creative, where user interface, user experience come into play.
So how do you differentiate UI designer and UX specialist?
Okay, UI designers are basically the person who design the visual interface of it. So for example, if you are using any one of the application, mobile app, the screen that you see is all about user interface, whether the size of the font is readable or not, is easy to use or not. Where user experience is another level. I won't say it's another level, but it's a different kind of context where it actually try to tackle objective from A to Z. So for example, if I want to purchase an item, it's not just about finding it or ordering it. It's about until I receive it. And it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. How can I reuse the flow back by ratings comes into place, review comes into place, so that people will come back again. So this is the user experience.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yep. So moving down, we're going to slightly go further from EMarketplace to a more physical part, which is a ERetail. Now, this is more on the consumer experience. I'm not sure you heard of Amazon Go before. It's a shop that basically you walk in, you take anything you want, you come out, and you are being checked out, and you need to pick the item is being your wallet is being deducted. So this is the entire user experience journey. And
I think there's some. Sorry, I think there's something similar in Malaysia, but then you still have to make the payment manually instead of just take and go.
Yep. So there are shops that is without any attendance. Like
Yep.
I think there are some food where they restaurant where you just go in, but you need to order from a machine. It's like a vending machine, but yeah, it's just there's no people there.
Yeah.
And I think there are some other places where if not mistaken, Decathlon, the store that sells sports product. If you go out to the checkout point, you just put everything in a basket, and it will automatically count the total amount. So it doesn't need to go one by one. Now, however, this Amazon Go itself is slightly a bit different because the entire process is the person going into the shop. It uses a mobile device to actually detect whether who you are, identify who you are first, whether you have any payment attached to your application itself. Then there are sensors around the shop itself to detect whether this person is moving from where to where, and even what kind of item is carrying. So when he actually walks out of the shop itself, the sensor detect, okay, this person bring A and B and C item out of the shop. So it automatically transfer the data over to the software, where the software actually calculates, let's say, a total sum amount, and it will actually go through a security path towards the payment integration. Then it will deduct from it. So this is roughly, I think this is roughly the general kind of the journey of it. And if you split into sectors of it, you can have different people working together. Because in this entire process, there is no interface at all. You can see it doesn't, it will rely on the user experience part where the person needs to think of what is the best shopping experience. Of course, the concept need to be approved by engineers where is this doable or not? So the solution provider comes in, engineers, IT people come in, discuss with the designer, with the user experience designer to see whether this is possible to execute or not.
Because I think this kind of shop, right? People worry the most about theft or people might steal something because there's no one to control you. It's just cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
So what do you think if a person go in, but then without taking the items out, he already finished, let's say, the break in the shop? How does the system actually detect it?
Well, I haven't been to Amazon Go before, but I do think that this situation might happen. Well, maybe I'm a bit less ethical. I will do that.
Yeah. I think Malaysia. I think the one that we can relate right now in Malaysia is the parking lot. A lot of them are actually going tickerless and cashless. You just have to drive. They sense your car plate. They detect it, and you can just go in. But then I think still a little bit troublesome because instead of just drive in and drive out, you still have to log in, scan a barcode, make the payment manually.
Yeah, I think that the reason why it's very clear that the reason why they're going tickerless, first thing you can save a bit of expenses, also to make the entire process a bit better because you don't really need to line up.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think if we were to have Amazon Go in Malaysia?
Oh, well, first thing they need to solve people like me consuming the product in the shop itself. And and of course, I mean, culture-wise, education is still needed to be delivered throughout. Okay, and it will be, I think this is kind of key issues.
Yeah. Okay, let's hope for the best lah.
Okay. Now, I'm going down to this industry. Hold on. Okay, that I think you are more familiar than me because my generation is a bit different, and you have esports right now. Now, instead of I'm saying this, how about you try to picture it. How does this industry being parked under these three pillars?
Okay. Okay, if audience, you guys want to try, you can just type your answer into it. Let's see if you pay attention or not, right? Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna take one game for example. Let's use Candy Crush.
Okay.
I think everyone is familiar with that game. Okay, maybe the creative is how do you design the shape of the candy, whether or not want to be colorful or want to be ice cream or whatever. And then also the song and also the animation. How does the candy move? How does the thing fly around? I think that's a creative part. And for the technical, perhaps, can I play the game on laptop or only on the phone? Which is the platform? Perhaps maybe for the security part, maybe hackers want to try to hack into my game because I'm like almost the end of the game already. Yeah, so I think the security part stays under technical to prevent all these hackers from getting my data. And for the business part is how they promote the game, or whether they want to give like a what? Okay, 5 days discount to buy these diamonds, stuff like that, to earn money, I think.
Yeah, I think roughly you mentioned is there, but I will use maybe another example to actually highlight it. Okay, somebody here says that Mobile Legends. Apologize, I don't really play that game, but I can relate something that is a bit more of maybe my generation. I'll take Candy Crush or even Angry Bird that everybody know.
Angry Bird.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now because if we look at Angry Bird in terms of not their history but how the gameplay is being done, it started with a mobile application. So mobile is very small, and the user I would say the user method is a bit limited because of the screen itself. But there are things that is benefit where you can actually detect whether the altitude or some or what do you call it, accelerometer, something like that, whether it's balanced or not. So things have to be a bit more simpler when it comes to a mobile interface, where that's why the slingshot of the birds is basically just swipe up. Yeah, it's just that simple, but the combination is a lot. So from the technical point of view, so from the creative point of view, the person needs to think of the gameplay that is easy enough for people to use on a mobile phone. And of course, the character design itself, how many levels, and even the character itself, although the person is maybe based on an artist that draws on the paper, they still need to know the knowledge of how to convert that thing on the paper into a animated format. So the process of that is actually quite, it's not just one shot. Of course, the more you practice, the more you know how it works. And because if you actually if you're able to transfer to a digital format, you can actually make multiple sizes of it and even create something a bit more different than a game, which on the business side, they actually touch a movie. So
like Angry Bird movies.
Yes, so it becomes an entire cycle that it is still entertainment, but it actually, from the business point, it expands to movies, games. Okay, I think
merchandise.
Yes, so these are all potential opportunities to grow. Of course, they need to have certain market data to prove that it's ready to go towards this direction. And of course, for the creative person, imagine that if you are the person who created Angry Birds, so yeah, just one night you'll be famous.
Yeah, I think for esports, another very, very famous one is Dota.
Yeah.
Because I always see my friend watch like a Dota game on YouTube. They want to watch how do people play, so that they want to improve themselves. And sometimes they even watch a competition.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think if you guys are parents, if your kids like to play games, just let them be, because they might have a very bright future.
Oh, well, yes, of course. Okay, but being minded that producing the game is a different story than playing the game itself. Of course, in this cycle, there is a game player profession just to test out the game. Of course, this kind of project is a bit less in Malaysia to happen. But if parents over here, if you're wondering whether game industry in Malaysia is actually good enough, now I don't know exact number, but I know that Malaysian company does work with game company from Europe and even Japan in order to produce game. Now, looking at a bit of the technical part, game, they are split into mobile game, okay, console game, PC game. Console and PC game, mobile game is the biggest share in the entire world because the device everybody have it. Where laptop or desktop or even console is a bit niche, but the market is still big because the games, the device itself, a lot of people gamers want to buy it. It's like my next to buy item. So this is a 250 billion industry, the whole world. So there is potential, and Malaysian game development company are actually, I won't say that it's a well-known, but there are potential if you check out with MDEC and even Magic Malaysia.
I see, because I think even now, once PS5 is out, a lot of people actually just go and line up, queue up to go and get it. And also, I think a lot of people can actually see right, there's actually an event for games. They let you to play on the VR, especially the PlayStation, and what's that thing called? Xbox. Yeah, so I think it's quite a big market right now.
Yes, I agree. It's a really big market. Like things, we are in a shutdown recently, and everything people can do is actually playing games.
Yeah, I think nowadays the big hit thing is Nintendo with the Animal Crossing kind of thing.
So I'll move this on to the next industry that I'm going to dissect. So this will be art industry I'm going to dissect. Now, this is creative industry. I used to work in this industry for a while, and just to let everybody know, creative way back before digital was actually a booming thing is advertising industry. And because of digital, people's behavior start to change. And when they start to change, digital make a big impact, and advertising has to merge with digital and becomes the so-called current creative industry. Now, this industry is a bit different because they are solving multiple problems. They are reaching out to multiple audience, and they need to know almost a lot of things in the market itself. Now, just picture this: if you're launching a new smartphone, okay? Now, smartphone itself, there are different types of audience. If your mobile device is suitable for the elder generation, you might need to think of whether you need an ambassador or not, or whether you need to go on to national TV or even cable TV as a TV ad. So these are commercial ad based. And let's say if this mobile phone is also suitable for younger generation, do you think you need to change that? You need to have another version to target for, you need to find influencer or social influencer that maybe they can help you push out this. So these are all different components, because on a TV ad, there are time limit, but on a YouTube, it's actually how do I say this? On YouTube, there's no time limit. You can even shot a short film about this mobile phone without any interruption. But on a TV, you gotta have 15 seconds or 30 seconds. 1 minute, the company to pay a lot of media fees. So in this entire process, it involves like what I said on the areas on the blue, you are creating a commercial ad. Okay, you might need to have different version of the same commercial ad. And who comes up with the commercial ad? The creative agency on the right-hand side, think of the idea, find the video production house to produce it. And sometimes they might need talents, which go down to the bottom second part, where they need to find different talent, different influencer to play a role of it. So this is how basically just an ad itself, how it actually combines different type of parties within a service provider within to create this item out.
Okay, since you were from the creative industry, can you tell us what is the main differences from what you worked as last time? Let's say, I mean, anything that you can think of. What is the biggest differences? Okay, let's say since you talk about phone, maybe you can give us another example that you feel like, oh, the way it works is totally different than how it works right now after digital comes in.
Okay. Now, slightly when I was slightly younger, the key media which we still relies on TV, radio, even the ads that is on streets, on the roadside, which are billboards, stuff like that. And these are the key which they call it above the market. So these are these are channels which basically, if you look at today, is technically is Astro, or what do you call that? The Sun, the Star. This kind of people that owns this media in itself. So you on that time, there's a lot of coordination needs to be done, because if I want to air my commercial on a prime time, I need to pay how much. I need to get people to help me make sure that my ads can be ready and can be slotted on the time that I want. Now, if I on the last few years that was in the creative industry, okay, people just put it on YouTube, try to make it viral as much as possible, and the idea actually transformed from something that is punching, buy this, to something that is storytelling. There are a lot of strategy comes in, and it has to be funny, has to be shareable. So these are things that is changing at this stage.
So I think even though I'm not that old, but then since young, oh, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a police, but kids nowadays, what do you want to be? I want to be a YouTuber.
Well, YouTuber is one of the I think the dream job of a lot of people, but they do need to know that how much things they need to understand before they can actually start, or they can just start with trial and error process. Okay. So I think now, if just to summarize it, whichever industry I mentioned just now, actually you can still plug it back to these three pillars. So which role you want, or which pillar you want to play with. So if you are a person that is you prefer hands-on, you prefer solving problems, you could be on the technology sectors. And let's say if you like to solve problem with the process of earning money, and your mathematics is not that good, you can actually go onto the business side. Or if you think that I actually like to make things enhance things, to make things a bit more slick, more elegant to use, or more stuff like that, you can go onto the creative sector. So these are all crossable. And if to simplify, these are the fields of courses that you can actually study at.
I see. So meaning there are a lot of professions, because I think people tend to misunderstood that digital, when it comes to digital, they always think of digital business, digital industry. They always think about the business only, but then they never actually think about the behind the scenes. They need engineers, they need data analysts, and even they need copywriters. These are all not exactly from the business field, right? Yeah, so I think if you want to be in a very how to say, growing industry, I think digital industry is a thing for you right now.
Well, digital industry is constantly improving, and just to show you some of the what do you call it, the courses or the majors that are popping up, there are things that are previously doesn't exist, but now it starts to get a bit more common. And just to mention that there are quite a number of people which is in the digital industry right now, and they are trying to cross their profession. And what do I mean by cross profession? Some designers might want to learn something about programming or something about engineering, so that their skill sets can be more variety and they can be more specialized on certain subjects.
Okay, one question, right? How about the healthcare, since we are dealing with the pandemic right now? Do you think digital helps a lot, or even they already transformed into digital healthcare?
I'm not sure about Malaysia yet, but on European country, where some of the countries they are elder, that their average age is slightly elder. They you know that Europe, Western or European, they actually when they are getting elder, they actually stay alone, and like old folks home is not that common over there. So they actually have different mobile app or even devices in the house itself that triggers emergency help to the hospital if it's near, as and when the person press on it. And this is also to solve that the people in nursing is not enough to support. So they actually come up with this kind of system, a mechanism to actually, it's something like Uber or Grab car. On press, they come.
Oh, I see. It's like an on-demand healthcare kind of thing then.
Yes, yes. So instead of they go into the clinic itself. So this is one of the situation happening over in the European countries, as what I know.
I think another very good example is also VR. As mentioned on last episode on the psychology ones, the speaker actually mentioned about VR actually helps a lot when they deal with people with PTSD, anxiety, because I think overall it's quite effective and also safe on the drug usage as well.
Oh, yep. Okay. I think there's another example I can give. Is start room up. Is somebody asked their IoT just now. IoT stands for Internet of Things. Now, what Internet of Things means that because things is too many, so they are putting sensors to hard to machines itself. So, for example, if I actually have a I don't know, radiation machine or something that scans your blood pressure, stuff like that, they actually transfer the data to a centralized system so that they can actually record your maybe health history, and this data can be actually applicable to different type of maybe different owner when as and when is needed. So instead of you yourself remember that, I have this problem, my blood type is what, it can be centralized in the future so that you have one app to actually have to store everything that relates to your own health. So this is one.
Yep.
This is another direction that is the industry is heading towards.
I think these kind of devices also help to collect data and also for people to analyze, okay, what is the next disease gonna come out? I think this kind of helps as well, so that people will be prepared to deal with the upcoming sickness, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Do you have anything else to cover, Eugene?
Okay, I think not much right now. I'll make a conclusion before the end of the entire presentation, and I think this is the part where we open up questions to the floor. Okay. Anybody who would like to ask anything that you saw just now, please feel free. I'll try to answer as much as possible. Okay.
I already see a lot of questions coming in earlier.
Yep.
All right. If you haven't put your question in, just put it down now and you might win the Grab food voucher. Who knows, right? Okay, let's start with the question number 1, all right? What are the job prospects for game development in Malaysia?
I think, like I said just now, European and Japan company does work with Malaysian in exchanging game programmers or development. It should be quite potential. And if actually you Google a bit about gaming game industry, Malaysia is actually not a bad country to produce game developers.
Okay. Next question. If I'm interested in the creative and business pillar, is it possible for me to find a role that fits me in those 2 pillars? Maybe crossover, I think.
Yeah, okay. For this, normally you will start out with one area. So creative and business itself, not very highly you will end up in an entrepreneur, okay? Or even creative industry, you will need business knowledge to actually once you are at a, let's say if you start with creative, you have design knowledge, and up to a certain level, you will need to actually manage how does the creative business being run. And this, you will become a subject specialist, which the subject is the creative, okay, as a subject. You will be a business representative for the creative industry. So these are one of the career path if person actually dive into creative industry itself.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Do you think media house or solution house is more effective than an individual specializes in the particular area itself?
Do you think media houses and solutions? Okay, depending on what kind of situation you are at. So let's say you have, when you actually touch on media house, basically you have something that you need your the media owner to actually spread out. Now, if you are the person that goes through one media house by yourself, you have a lot of contact point. So normally, these are the small players. So let's say if I have if I want to sell something, then I only can my budget is only allows me to actually approach maybe A and B media house, let's say, then it's easier for me to do it that way. But if you are actually a corporation, let's say you're launching a mobile phone and your ads, your content cannot be just on one media. You need to have somebody that actually coordinates. So when this show, can this show or not? Can this also appear on the market or not? So these are the different types of situation that you might need to understand when you actually start working.
Okay, the next question is quite interesting. What is the upcoming trend for the digital industry or transformation?
Okay, different the industry has a bit of different changing method. Now, what I can give an example is, maybe 15 years ago, if you have a Wi-Fi set at home, wow, that's the audio, that's the way to live. Now, recently you have a Bluetooth speaker, which you can see the sizes condense to actually, even the button itself, you just need to control volume up, volume down.
Yep.
And recently, I think not recently, actually since last year, you just need to speak. Tian Mao Jing Ling, can you play me some song? So
Yeah.
this is how transformation is going. Things are getting more niche and more friendlier to use.
I think even right now, if you have a smart, actually people are building something called smart house. Everything is activated by voice. You don't have to get up as well. You just be like, okay, Alexa, turn off the light, and you just turn it off, and you can just be lazy and lie there.
I think there's also a AI home somewhere in Mid Valley where things are getting more friendlier, and I was looking at a washing machine where I actually hope that I can just control my washing machine to start washing my clothes like when I'm in office, so I don't need to actually go back home. Only I can turn on the washing machine.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Okay, what is IoT? We already explained earlier. Okay, we're just gonna move on to the next one. Is there a professional body for IT?
I think there is a professional body for IT. If I'm not mistaken, there's a certificate that most IT, especially on project manager, they would like to take on. I think in details wise, one of my colleague has already answered you on the next few lines.
Okay, all right. Okay, then we're gonna move on then. Okay, is marketing more focused in creatives or business?
Okay, depends on the role. From this sentence, it looks like it's for business because anyhow, profit and loss come first. Okay, whether you hit your objective or not comes first. Creative used to be supporting the marketing role. However, if your creative is good enough, your marketing actually save a lot of hassle.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, next one. Can digital business fully replace traditional business?
Okay, I personally don't think can. Digital is a supporting role. It can support traditional business to go bigger.
Okay. All right. Next question. I'm keen to company that produce commercial ads. What industry is that?
Oh, you keen to work on company that produce commercial ads? Okay. You can look for video production house. You can look for creative agency. There are quite a number of it in Malaysia itself. But first thing, do have the skill. Do have a skill of actually knowing how to produce commercial ads. If you already finish your study, let's say finish your higher education, you can start producing commercial ads using your YouTube channel itself, and you can actually use your portfolio to actually try to convince people to allow you to take ads.
Okay. All right, next question, a long one. Okay, it's arguable that modern smartphones have become a very capable computing device, but why does it seem like the mobile games content is not up to par to other platforms like console or PC gaming? Perhaps maybe usually mobile games are more simple, I think.
I think mobile games, they have a wider audience. If you want to market for and partially, I think the charging method is a bit different. Normally, mobile games are free upfront, and you pay inside. And for console game, you need to buy the game yourself, mostly. I think this is, and console games wise, audience are slightly a bit lower than mobile gamers.
Okay.
Since a lot of people are very interested in the game.
Yeah, I think game is a very big thing right now. Even my papa, 80 years old woman also playing games. So I don't think it's a very, it's not a very small things anymore. Even Amma also playing games. So yeah.
Yeah, my mom also play games.
Okay. All right. Next one. How is AI transforming the future of the digital industry?
I would say AI is transforming the industry, not just on digital industry. AI is at this stage, as what we know, is AI is still very specific on certain subject areas. For example, if you want AI to control your house, so it will still be limited to around your house area. It's not like the Terminator, Skynet, that you can actually cross over different channel, or let's say something that this system that controls your home, can control your car, can control your things that you see online is not there yet, okay, as far as I know. But it's more on let's say if the machine itself understands the character of the owner, it will basically try to give solution for that particular area.
Okay. Do we have any more questions coming in? Counting 1, 2, 3, close. Okay, we'll just take it as no more. Thank you everyone for asking questions. Okay, Eugene, let's choose 2 questions, the best questions from the chat box, and give them a voucher.
Okay, I think I might want to reward YS for the question of, is there a professional body for IT? And also Jackson Feng. Thank you for the questions.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for those winners who won your vouchers. We are gonna get in touch with you to get your details. Okay, up next, here comes our exciting quiz part and more vouchers coming in. So make sure you participate actively, all right? Don't let the chance go to other people. Okay, shall we start?
Yep.
Okay, question number 1. What are the 3 pillars that was mentioned? We mentioned this a lot of times earlier. You should be able to answer it.
Anybody? B.
Okay, we have one winner.
Pao Yiling, right?
Okay, Pao Yiling, thank you and congratulations. Okay, for YS, if you want to save your time and read the voucher as soon as possible, you can just type in the ABCD. All right? Okay, moving on to the next question, number 2.
Okay, next one.
Yep. Digital industry includes which one? Okay,
Oh,
we have another winner. She is 5. Okay, it's all of the above, obviously. Yeah, digital is everywhere. Okay, next question. Okay, advertising plus digital equal to which industry?
No watching, no.
Okay, congratulations, Sean. All right, congratulations to all our winners today. We're gonna get in touch with you and you can claim your vouchers after this. All right, Eugene, it seems like we have covered all the questions and also the quiz. You have anything else to add before we wrap up?
Okay, I think the part is still comes back to which role that as you who is listening wants to venture into. So like we said just now, there are cross majors or cross profession as long as you have something in something to start with. Now there is some misconception that during during when I was working, I do need to highlight it because it might affect your decision. Now, for people who wants to venture into engineering and IT side of the field, okay, do take note that if you are good in mathematics, that is great, that is awesome, but you don't really need to be awesome in mathematics. Okay, mathematics is something to support this field. Okay, and it's actually how do I say this? Logic sense play a more important role than mathematics.
I think as long as you don't say 1 + 1 = 3, then I think it should be fine, Yeah. Okay.
Now the second part is now if you want to venture into creative industry, it's not necessary for you to know how to draw. Okay, it will be good for you to know how to draw, but it's not necessary for you to know how to draw. Of course, you need for both of this, you still need to check back with your entry requirements of that particular uni or academy, whether which level of drawing you need or which level of mathematics that you need. Okay, try to get it at least pass lah. Okay, in order to start with it. So basically, that's it. And I'll pass it back to you.
All right, thank you, Eugene. Seems like we already learned a lot of digital things today. It's a new ways for humans and machine or even tools to work together to empower the businesses to achieve a greater insights and even reduce the risk of errors that you might make. And also this help you to make a better decision. Okay, up next we have another exciting topic, which is unmasking the business majors. Have you ever heard of money is everywhere? Yeah, money is everywhere, business is everything. And it touches most career including the ones that you might be thinking right now. So remember, the register is happening on the 22nd of Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. So just come to listen and explore your potential career paths with another professionals. Okay, whatever we come up with, chances are that is business. Okay, see you and have a good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.